Hi, I'm going to give you some nuggets to get you going. We're looking at a dashboard here. Indeed, this is a dashboard of the family, but it's very similar for whoever logs in, whether it's family, care organization, carer, or grandkids for that matter. The key things to note here is that the top right brings up a video that shows you how to use the page, and this is available on most pages, and this is called the navigator. This will bring you back to the home page, the dashboard that we're on now. Here are the details of the person who is showing in the navigator, the person whose REMI version this is, and you can click here and change those. And here you can click and create your own My Story, enter content about yourself that you can use to engage with the person being cared for. And of course here you can log out. On this page will be different buttons depending on who you are, what type of user you are, but they generally offer a range of similar functionalities such as care circle engagement, the calendar, ready-made activities, music, and of course the means to view health and well-being and view the profile of the person who's being cared for. Thank you. One of the best ways to start to use REMI is to create your own My Story. If we click here into the navigator, here you can see My Story, and this is the My Story of the person whose REMI this is, the carer or a family member. It's in the same format as the My Story of the person who's being cared for, so it's a good place to start. What we're seeing here down the left are themes that are common to everyone's life, and within these themes are topics. We see the topic here, tennis player. Now it's showing within everything, and every single topic within these themes, if there were any more, would be showing here. But if we click into any of these themes, we can see the content specifically in relation to that theme. And we'll find in working life, here is the content in relation to tennis player, since Richard was a tennis player. But if we go to the theme of music, we are now going to create some content in relation to music, which is moved up to the top. Now we could create a new conversation and capture multiple music as we hold a conversation, but we're going to create some new music that is of interest to yourself that you can then play to the person being cared for. We can either choose these as guides, or we can click and add a topic here, or we can create our own. And so we'll start by creating our own topic. And the system offers some functionality, and the first thing we do is discover content and music that relates to our interest, and we're going to put in here blues. The next thing we do is hit enter, and it will find blues music for us to choose, but we could upload our own YouTube links or our own music here, and we'll later on be able to define our favorites and add some notes, maybe a story in relation to that music, and adjust the settings, as you'll see. But the system's come back with some content, and if we want to choose it, we'll choose the Blues Brothers, and we will choose a bit of Elvis, but we're going to find a few more results. Now, of course, we could do this full screen and immediately play the music, which we'll do in a second, but we've got a bit of Johnny Cash, and we're going to have, we'll have a bit of John Lee Hooker. Now we can perhaps look at and listen to some John Lee Hooker. If we hit play, it will play. We've already liked it, but if we hadn't liked it, we could like it here to ensure that it's kept. And we can click here and go out to the internet and gain some information about that particular piece of music. And indeed, we can record a note. If, for example, we want to say that we met John Lee Hooker, then we could write it here. And of course, we can do a voice recording as well of yourself talking over or before that piece of music. So if we exit from here, you'll see now that John Lee Hooker and those others that you've chosen are kept along the bottom here. And if we save that, that now is a topic that has been saved in this collection, and we can add notes here, or we can change the settings. We can choose a thumbnail, and I think we'll choose Johnny Cash as the thumbnail. We can decide which theme it's being held in, which is music, And indeed, we can put a decade to timeline this to our life story. But if we wanted to, we could delete this particular topic. But we're going to keep it. So if we save that now, you'll see that that music compilation has been held in the music theme in your My Story. And that's something that is a format that can be used for the person who's being cared for in their My Story in exactly the same manner. But we could, if we wanted to, change notes and also upload our own content. So if we go back now, you can see here we've created a playlist. Thank you. And one of the best ways to start using Remy is to work with ready-made activities. If you click here, you'll find that Remind Me Care automatically provides you with a set of ready-made activities, including physical activities, which contain meditation, gentle chair yoga, for example, and quizzes, which have a variety of entertaining quizzes such as jigsaws and famous people. Also, there's cognitive stimulation therapy here in games. These are games that make it possible to assess and support cognitive stimulation. And of course, there are collections of films and music. But it's also possible to create your own activity. And as you can see here, because of the same color, there's been quite a few activities that have been created defined as group activities that are used within the care facility, or of course are created and just used by the person being cared for. So this is a very good way to start by simply using your tablet, perhaps connecting to a large TV and displaying an activity on a screen.